everyone, welcome back to Homestead in a Box. My name is Leah and I'm super grateful to have you. Today I'm standing in the shade under my half alive, half choked out morning glory / loofahs. In today's video, okay, so something that's came at me twice in a week. Last Friday I was visiting with a friend and she was like, oh, I wish my garden could be as beautiful as yours. And then I'm like, okay, mine's really not that beautiful, like real life here. And then another friend on Sunday had kind of said something along the same lines. She was like, when you came to my house and you said all of my gardens were pretty and all of this, she was like, what? I think your gardens are beautiful. I wish my garden could look like your garden. And so all of that to say this. Right now, currently, I am off the homestead a couple days a week. Okay, my husband is in the midst of adding onto our home. We have another shipping container. We're adding to the container we live in. We have to weld it up, cut out the walls, all the things, okay? So he's busy, and he's diligently busy with building chicken tractors, all the things, okay? And I'm not here. And so some things fall to the wayside, and the garden has been one of those things. And I have kind of allowed my garden to fall to the wayside this year. It's the fall garden. I've allowed it to kind of fall, more so than normal, because mainly I know that all the work that I'm putting in right now is gonna really help increase my winter production. So I'm kind of letting the fall garden fall a little bit. I've came on here and I've said, this is what you can plant, this is what you can do. I've given you all the advice I can give you. So I really hope that you all took my advice and that you planted some plants for your fall garden. I did. I have squash coming up, all of the things. I'm gonna show y'all today in today's video what if my fall garden is actually coming in. I have baby zucchinis and squashes coming in. My pumpkins are looking okay. You know, I believe I'll get a harvest, at least a small harvest of pumpkins before Halloween again. But anyway, so whenever all of our attention is directed in one place, that means, like I said, something kind of gets, we prioritize here, okay? And so my garden has kind of fallen to the bottom of the priority list. And not because that we don't love food or we're not going to anywhere else to buy our food. Like, we've grown food for the year, you know. All summer I've been growing food, and right now I've just kind of taken a break between summer and winter, and I've planted things for the fall, but I'm not diligently like hurrying up getting all the fall things done, because I'm way more interested in having a high yielded winter garden. Okay, so today I'm going to show you what my garden looks like, okay, because it doesn't look pretty. All right, it's beautiful to me because I still have things alive in it. But today I'm going to be ripping things out of my garden. I'm going to show you how, you know, we're all human here. Not all of our gardens are beautiful and picture perfect. I told one of the girls who had mentioned something to me, I said, what you see on the internet is like, really, like, nobody wants to be like, oh, check out all this dead stuff. But today I'm gonna do that. Well, we're gonna go check out all my dead stuff, because people think like, oh, Homestead in a Box, what a wonderful gardener. Do I know how to garden? Absolutely. I know I can grow some food, but sometimes I have to prioritize things in my life, and my garden has to fall to the wayside for me to be able to prioritize something more. Absolutely. So today I'm going to show y'all what that looks like. We're going to rip some stuff out, and we really are going to talk about the winter garden because it is time, okay? I believe this week is the last week of any 100-degree temperatures. Just watered all my broccoli, my cauliflowers, all the things this morning that are in the house, and they look amazing. I cannot wait to get them out. Some people already have theirs out and they're thriving, and that's wonderful. I'm super happy for those people. For me, I'm always way on the side of caution sometimes, not all the time, but this year I really want to grow broccoli and cauliflower. I've never actually grown them to a complete head. Now my dad has, and I've been able to enjoy his, and it's phenomenal. Broccoli grown in your garden is way different than grocery store broccoli. So that's my goal this year, is broccoli. Spring was cabbage. I grew cabbage. I was really excited about it. I have a lot more cabbage to plant this winter. all the things. But I'm not planting really my winter garden until this week. Probably by the time this comes out, by say this week, like it'd be September 8th-ish. So this will come out before September 8th, but I probably won't plant my garden until the weekend of September 8th, my winter garden. But I'm going to talk about a little bit that today, but really mainly I just want to show you all my garden and show you that not all gardens look alike, and then just talk about the winter garden and what that's going to look like here and what I'm actually planting, and what if you want to plant, you still have lots of time to plant for a winter garden. I mean lots and lots and lots of time. I hope that you see this video and you maybe have never thought about planting a winter garden, but you see this video and you're like, wow, I have that much time to do all this stuff. I'm going to do it. So let's go check out what my garden looks like right now. Alright, so here is where I had all the good intentions on planting more okra rows over here. And then here are my black-eyed peas that are kind of, really, I'm just going to save the seeds off of these pods here. But you can see there's still some actually cowpeas coming on them. So, shoot, may just have tree keep watering them and see what we can't get off of these. Some of them look better than others for sure, but that's just real life. Over here, my okra, I told y'all I've never seen okra so big in my life. Look at this. Oh, I just had something on me. Look how big this okra is. Like, that's massive. That's a huge piece of okra for sure. All the way down. Like, I need to come, and I believe that these okra plants would be okay for sure. They just need some TLC. They just need to be watered and fed, and I could probably continue to get okra off that. So that's probably what I'll do today. I'll probably come feed them. A lot of the things I have on my list to do today is to feed, and so I'll probably add okra to it. Come pick all these big ones off. These can be saved. I mean, especially since you see this flower down here. So this means, like, in these are perfect sized okra here. Sorry, to eat. Yeah, so my okra plants are totally savable. They just need to be watered on a more regular basis and picked. So if you when you pick them, you're allowing energy to form new okra. So that's actually what I'll probably come in and do today. So the okra is actually savable. I didn't think I was going to be able to save my okra. This is where I had plans on putting more okra. That didn't happen. If you've been here a while, you know I grow flowers for my friend. She has a flower shop, and I am growing flowers for her at her flower shop. This is kind of my first year doing that, but I wanted to see how this soil here would do, which is growing zinnias out here, and obviously it does okay. Look how beautiful that zinnia is, friends. Let's zoom into that. That zinnia is so pretty. So, good to know this soil, because next year, once we start more of a flower production, good to know that my soil, mixed in with some rabbit manure, does a good job. So over here is my other zinnia patch. You see some of them are massively tall. That's because I've come in and I've deadheaded a lot of them. And then they're growing back. Look at this beauty here. Oh my gosh. Look how beautiful that zinnia is. I love it. Cannot wait to tell you guys all about my flower plans and what we're doing. Over here is my moonflower. It only blooms at night. Looks a little wilty this morning, and that's because it's warm out here today. It's real warm out here. Nothing here in this bed. You can see where I was recording something. But this is where I'm going to be putting my broccoli and my cauliflower, because it'll still have time to stay shaded while the temps are still warm from my Aunt Connie. That's what I call my arch, is Aunt Connie. So Aunt Connie will still shade it while I need it to stay, my broccoli and my cauliflower to stay cool, because broccoli and cauliflower and brassicas do not like heat. They will die. That's why I still have them inside. All right, real life, this is basil. And you know, I was going to cut it back, and I probably still am going to cut it back. That way it's not shading my pumpkins over here. However, I think it looks really cool whenever I look out my front door. I'm like, oh wow, look at that. That's basil. This is just basil gone to seed. That's all this is. You can save seeds from them, kind of do whatever you want to do, but... So we've got a lot of, you know, dead stuff here. That's kale. Okay, look how tall those stalks of kale are. But it's dead. The grasshoppers have had it. Wonderful for them. Some bee balm that's kind of passed away there. Now over here, and y'all are gonna be like, what? This is the greenest garden. This is the greenest flower bed you have, or garden bed you have. This is what I'm taking out today. My jalapeno peppers here. I got 2 jalapeno plants there. And then if you go down, this is basil. I've got bell peppers, jalapenos, all the things. We're gonna take all these out today. The sunflowers out today. This whole bed will be empty because this is my main winter bed. You see I have these PVC pipes here that my husband just used some rebar for in the ground here. And then I'll come in with 6 mil plastic for winter protection. But that's what all of these 3 beds, these are the only beds I'll grow in this winter, is these 3 beds. And we're gonna get high yields out of a small space. We're gonna feed real good. And I'm pretty excited about it. Look at all those butterflies. So, before we go to the tomatoes, check out what we got here. Hello! Meat birds. We had 128 Cornish cross delivered. We did a buy-in with some friends, and we had some friends buy 20 of them, but they are 15, and they came and picked them up yesterday. All right, so the sun's back out. It is what it is, friends. So that's our meat birds for the season. I'm really honestly thinking I probably should have doubled my order this year. Last year we raised them for family just to see, like, you know, how that would go. And now this year we're raising them and we'll sell them from our farm. We have lots and lots, way more people interested in ethically sourced, pasture-raised chicken than what I ever thought there would be, okay? But there are a lot of people interested in it. I told my husband, I said, we normally run meat birds once a year. I said, we might have to start running meat birds in the spring and in the fall to keep up. But I'm willing to do that because that's something that's important to us, is like, we want to raise, you know, good meat for other people, you know? We want other people to have the option. Like, if you want to be able to buy ethically grass-ran, you know, wonderful pastured chicken, we want to be able to provide that to the people who want that. Some people have no desire for that. They don't care. They go to wherever and they just buy the chicken and they cook it up, and that's cool too. But here, we just want to give other people an option if they want it. All right, so I'm over here in the tomatoes. If you see my husband behind me, he's moving the goat pen. We have, I said on my last video, everything here is movable, and it's time to move the goats. So we are moving the goats today. He's moving the goats today. I'll help at the end. But anyway, I want to show you my tomatoes. A lot of my tomatoes I'm not taking out right now. I don't grow anything in these 2 tomato beds for the winter. I have no protection over them. And honestly, it's just my husband and I. And there's no need for this. I have some goals for this winter. And I'm going to share a YouTube video about like what I want to actually have done by the time hardcore winter gets here, but I'm gonna save that for another video. In this video, I'm gonna show you these tomatoes, and then I've got some squash growing, and where I planted my beans on the last video, they're coming up. But truth be told, rabbits got in, or my chickens got in, and they ate them. However, I do have quite a few tomatoes on my vines, and I want to show you all that, and then show you my squash. So let's check out the tomatoes real quick. So here are all my cherry tomatoes. You can see some of them are dead. That's totally okay. I'm honestly not really doing anything to prevent them from dying. We're just kind of cohabitating here. You know, I say it on several of my videos. We are trying to create a permaculture paradise. So that means we cohabitate with creatures here. These are delicious. I'm going to have one of these as a little snack while we do this. There's browning in here. Once these tomatoes die, y'all, I'm just going to let them die. I'm going to tear them out, let them die. And then we'll treat these beds, and we'll just let them lay and rest for the winter. We'll put rabbit manure, organic matter, all the things in there, and they'll just kind of chill for the winter. Over here you can see where the squash, I was going to run it up this panel here, but I said, you know, we're just going to let it do its thing. So it's got lots of flowers on it. We'll see if we get some off that. Lots of tomatoes coming in. All of these tomatoes here need to be picked. See all these? These are actually green tomatoes. They're not supposed to be turning yellow like that. It's really just supposed to be green. But so lots of tomatoes still growing. I got some things hanging on over here. My basil, it's so hot, like even though I've trimmed my basil recently, it's just so hot when it comes back, it's just going to seed. It's just warm here. You can see where this one on this side's looking okay, but it's kind of going to seed over here. Here are my little baby cucumbers I planted. I'm gonna come in and water them really good. You can see their first set of leaves have came in now. Their first set of true leaves are coming in. Over here you can kind of see the damage from, I'm gonna say either rabbits or possibly my chickens, if I'm being completely honest with you here, because I did catch a few chickens in here. Here's my lavender, which I'm honestly really surprised that thing is still alive, because I'm like the worst at growing lavender, y'all. The worst. These Amish paste, man. Let's talk about these for a minute. If you want some good just tomatoes that just put on, okay, here we go here. I mean, they're just continuously putting on. You see the flowers here. I mean, they're just, I mean, they go all the way up my panel. I mean, they're just putting on everywhere. Over here, I need to come harvest some. I've got some that I need to take and put in the freezer bags. Amish Paste, Baker Creek Seeds is where I purchased those seeds at. I highly recommend it. You see here, this is called cohabitating with birds. Okay, the birds eat my tomatoes. But again, it's we share here. You grow enough that you can share. Look at that, I just spotted that. Do y'all see that tomato? Let's go grab that real quick. Wow, that's a beaut. Alright, we have this brush pile over here. And this is where we make a makeshift round pen. You can see my husband over there doing that. And we'll move the goats in there to clear that out. Now it's warm, so my stuff's gonna look a little wilty over here. However, my squash and zucchini is doing phenomenal. There are baby squashes coming on. I'm gonna come feed this today. Tree's been brewing me up a rabbit tea this week. And today I'm gonna come pour it out here and feed these, and we'll be harvesting some squash and zucchini by the end of the week. So this is part of my fall garden, and what I've kind of considered to be my fall garden is just like my tomatoes, the squash, zucchini, just the things that I really need. All right, if you hear the goats, that's because Tree ended up just moving Pocahontas to the pen, and the babies are so loud. So I promise we're not really like hurting kids over here. It's just the goats upset that we moved their mama. So anyway, y'all, there's some of my garden. It doesn't, I mean, it's half of it's dead. My husband just went in and weed eated it the other day. He scalped it for me. I mean, it's real life, okay? It's really real life here, y'all. It's not rainbows and butterflies all the time. It is rainbows and butterflies, but y'all, if you want to see your own butterflies, you have to plant the flowers. You have to plant the things, you know. If you want, last night we were out here in our hammocks, and my husband was like, I love the life that we have here. And in my head, I was like, you know, like, yeah, you know, it's because we have, you know, zinnias and sunflowers and squash and zucchini and all the things, and morning glories and loofahs and beans and peas and peppers and eggplants. We have all the flowers growing. We have flowers growing, and where there's flowers, there's bound to be pollinators. And so where there's pollinators, your bees, your butterflies, your red wasps, all the things, you know, hummingbirds. You know, if you want to see life in your yard, plant some flowers, plant some food. If you have a desire to sit on your back porch and see things, you know, these goats are so loud. If you're sitting on your back porch and you have the desire to watch, you know, butterflies fly across you or see hummingbirds come up to you, plant some flowers, plant some things. So there's that, y'all. Real life garden, that's what my garden's looking like right now. I have no shame in it. I show myself grace for that this year because I know what I want my winter garden to be. And in order to be able to plan out my winter garden how I want, I have a very dear friend of mine who's opening up a general store here locally over in McCurtain, Oklahoma. On her farm, and from her farm she's going to be selling all the things. So she's a dear friend of mine, so that means I have access to sell the things that I'm growing, you know, and I have lots of friends out there who want to buy the food that I grow, you know, that aren't even from here. And so for me to, when I have people that come to me and they say, hey, will you grow us food? Absolutely, I'll grow you food. So when I have people coming to me and wanting something, I know I need to take the time, I need to sit down, and I really need to plan out my winter garden because I want to grow food for everybody that wants me to grow food for them because I know I can. I've done it before. This will be my third winter garden, and I know I can do it, so I'm gonna do it. So but let's talk a minute about the winter garden, and if you don't know what you can plant, I'm gonna just give you a few things off the top of my head that you can plant. I fully believe if you wanted to start indoors under some grow lights and had time to grow, I fully believe that cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, all those things, you have time to do that. Especially if you have some type of a frost cover or something like that, and really all of those brassicas can even handle frost. Like they're semi-hardy, you know. Some of them are super hardy in the winter. But anyway, so that's what I would start inside. Brussels sprouts, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. I don't think it's too late. But I always tell you, don't come here if you want perfect advice because it's all trial and error here. This channel is a learning channel. This is where we learn together. We learn from my mistakes and all the things. So for me personally, I'm gonna start another tray of cabbage. I'm not gonna start any more broccoli and cauliflower because we just don't really eat it like that. Like we love it and we love to eat it, but we eat cabbage way more. So I'm definitely going to be starting another tray of cabbage to plant out. I'm not planting any of my baby starts that I've started out until next week, till the weekend of like September 8th or so. Now that's just me personally. Y'all do what you see fit on your farm and what's more comfortable for you. What's comfortable for me may not be comfortable for you, and that's okay. But some real quick, easy, fast growers that you can grow, and I mean y'all can grow these all winter, okay? We'll start from the top. All of your lettuces, whether it be baby lettuce or if you want that red romaine head lettuce or that green romaine head lettuce, that big head, even Great Lakes head lettuce. I grew that last year. It's a wonderful seed to grow if you like just real good big pieces of lettuce for hamburgers or something like that. It's called a Great Lakes lettuce. I actually bought those seeds on Amazon from Seed Needs Company. I'll do a video over all of my seeds, but I have videos on here. I was just telling my husband, I said, you know, I don't really want my YouTube channel to become a repeat of all the videos I already have, but some of them can definitely be updated. So I will be doing a video over lettuces again, but in the meantime, I will also link that other video down here in the comments. All the lettuces that you can possibly imagine. I love cold weather, all the ones that I've grown so far. So any lettuces that you want, and the cool thing about lettuce is you can take a container, plant the lettuce, come in 3 weeks and trim them from the top. Keep watering them and that lettuce will grow back. It'll keep coming back. It'll come back. You can trim it, come back, trim it, come back. So one planting, eat all winter long. Lettuce, okay? Kale, there's so many thousands of different varieties of kale. This year we're really gonna be growing some dino kale that some friends gave me. And really I have so many different varieties. That's probably another reason why I'm going to do a video over the varieties I'm growing. But kale is another thing that grows really well. Spinach, if you're not growing spinach and you eat spinach, you need to be growing spinach. Spinach is something that grows really fast, really easy, and it's so good. It's so good. This year my goal, I know it's silly, if you can, you're gonna be like, that's a lot of spinach, Leah, but I really want to can our own spinach, and it will take a lot of spinach, but that's kind of why I've taken right now off, is to get my garden plan ready for the winter, because I know I can grow the spinach to can it. I just have to grow a lot of it. But I want to can our own spinach, you know, but we eat spinach, we eat it in eggs, we eat it in all the things, you know, salad. So kale, spinach, radishes grow wonderfully in the winter. Hi, guy. Radishes grow wonderful. Carrots, I'll be sowing my carrots the weekend of September 8th. It's just too hot for me right now to sow carrots. If you've done it already and they've sprouted, I think that's wonderful. Well, absolutely wonderful. But for me, I've had really bad experience with planting them too early. Even some of my potatoes that I planted have not actually sprouted, so some of the potatoes I harvested this spring have eyes on them, and I'm actually even going to plant them, basically just as a trial experience. So your kales, your collard greens, your mustard greens, your turnip greens, turnips, beets, radishes, all of your root crops. Sometimes I say these things and you might not know what that means, but it's because I hope that you go Google it. Go Google what's a root crop. You know, a root crop is all of your vegetables whose fruit actually grows under the ground, you know, so your carrots, your radish, your beets, your turnips. Kohlrabi. I'm growing kohlrabi for the first time this year. If you don't know what kohlrabi is, go Google it for sure. I'm growing kohlrabi. I have an uncle who has some family members that grow it, I believe, in Florida. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm just going to grow it. So I ordered some kohlrabi seeds. I got those from Johnny's Seeds. But anyway, all the winter things, I'm super excited about the winter garden, y'all. No pests. A lot of people have said, what do I need to use for protection for my winter garden? It's going to depend on how serious you want to take your winter garden. By the end of this winter, I will have high tunnels, and I'm going to actually be migrating halfway through winter, probably like November, into high tunnels. So I'll actually be growing in the 3 garden beds that I have, but y'all, it makes me seriously almost cry that I get a high tunnel this year. If you've been here on this channel, y'all know I've been wanting a high tunnel for a hot minute. I've been wanting to grow food, and I wanted a greenhouse. I've been wanting a greenhouse. Well, now I just want a high tunnel. You know, I want a high tunnel, and I'm gonna get one this year, and I'm actually gonna get to grow food in the high tunnel this year. We're making it ourselves. We're super excited about it, but so yeah, you don't have to have protection though. This is my 3rd year, and I'm just not getting a high tunnel, okay? So the last 2 years, I've just used canvas from like tarps from painter's cloth. Last year I used just affordable 6 mil plastic from Home Depot. If you have the money to spend, I'm going to encourage you to go buy 6 mil greenhouse plastic. But honestly, y'all know me here. I'm going to tell you to use what you have. The first year I didn't have anything. I had no clue. I had no clue what I was even doing. I used painter's cloth. A friend the other day was like, well, I would imagine that would weigh it down. It did. It weighed down all my kale and all my lettuce every morning. But when I pulled that painter's cloth off of it, by the afternoon, all those things bounced back up. So start where you're at. Use what you have. Don't go spend a lot of money on it if you don't have it. Meet yourself where you are and do what you can where you are. You know, that's the way to be successful. You know, have goals, but also understand that we all start at the bottom. We all start with dead crops. I mean, shoot, I say it, like, the reason I have such a great harvest is because I plant extra plants, okay? You know, I can give you all the tips, tricks, and advice, but I'm human too, and things wipe me out too. Them grasshoppers in my okra, I'm like, come on, you know? It's real life here, friends. It's real life here, and that's really what I wanted to bring you today, is a little bit of real life, and to tell you that stop being hard on yourself. If you're being hard on yourself, if you're beating yourself up over your garden, if something's dead. A girlfriend of mine, I said, I want to come see your garden. I love seeing other people's gardens. She's like, oh, I'm going to pull that squash out first. Why? You know, I think the fact that you put seeds in the ground, that you're planting food, is the most amazing thing. It says so much about you. It says more about you than the people who don't. You know, and not anything against people who don't grow food. I have nothing against those people. Some people just don't want to know. They don't care, you know, and that's okay too. But for the people who are taking time out of their life to go plant that seed in the ground to learn how to grow food for their family and for themselves so they know where their food's coming from, who cares if you have a dead 5 squash plants in your garden? Who cares? Because all that says to me is that you're trying and that you have the experience over somebody who hasn't tried at all. So friends, today I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you all are doing wonderful. I hope that if you haven't wanted to grow food, that today after watching this video, you're like, hey, I may grow a little bit of lettuce this winter. As always, I am sending you all the good vibes. Send some good vibes to somebody that you all know, and I will see you all next time.